Hi, it's Calder from Singing Matters here once again, and I just wanted to talk to you today about warming up, how to warm up your voice. Why are you warming up your voice is the first question I'm going to ask you though. So if you've got a performance or rehearsal or any sort of extended singing and you want to warm up your voice, how do you do it? I'm asking you. I'm really interested in this because people are at completely different levels of the spectrum. There are people who've got all sorts of training and do scales and exercises all the time. It's a normal part of their day-to-day life. There are other people who go out there and perform and don't really have a clue what they're doing and what to do about warming up. They're just told that they should. So why are you doing it? Oh, because you're supposed to. You're sort of supposed to warm up, I guess, aren't you? I suppose I should warm up more because something doesn't feel right or something wears down throughout the performance or throughout the rehearsal. There are parts of songs that you struggle with and whatever it is, there's a reason why you think you should warm up. So here's a question for you about that. If I asked you what part of your set gives you the fear the most, if there's a part of a song, a section or a phrase or a whole song that springs to mind that gives you the fear a little bit, there's a sign there's something to work on with that, because there's a lack of confidence there. And when you're about to perform like tonight, you have to build up all sorts of confidence around going out there and doing it regardless of that bit that gives you the fear. So you're really warming up for those bits, but people think of warming up as just exercising and stretching and stuff like that, which it is a bit. But for me, the most important thing about warming up is reprogramming the muscles. It's actually reconfiguring your voice. It's kind of checking where your voice is at and reprogramming the muscles and reminding them where to go and making sure of any tension or anything that's creeping in and trying to remove it before you go and perform. Just setting your voice up, because it won't be there just because it was there last time. It won't be there just because it was there yesterday or last week. And you just need to first check where it's at. So that's one of the reasons to warm up. It's to check where the hell your voice is at. So you can't expect it to be the same every day. It's a moving target, as my coach once told me. It's a moving target. It's never the same twice. And I think that's a really good thing to take on board. So you're warming up to kind of check where it's at, check what it feels like, find out any bits that don't feel right, find out any bits that are kind of awkward around your bridge, perhaps, anything that's not sort of sitting right, and just that's the bit to focus on. That's the bit to focus on, not hide away from. But, you want to warm up all parts of your range and you want to give it a chance to get itself going, and you want to do that a little bit more carefully than you perhaps might if you were mid-song, mid-set in a performance. Just give yourself a chance for your voice to kind of work and get going and find out where it is. Find out where it's feeling like it is, because you can't expect it to always be the same. So how do you warm up? I'm really interested in this because people say it to me and they sort of lazily do a bit of a song. They lazily kind of have a little bit of a go through their songs or bits of songs or whatever it might be, and they consider that warming up. And it's not that that can't be helpful. It's not that that's not a good way to go. I always think it's best to tell people to do it with a bit more purpose than that. Take a part of the song, a phrase of the song, and turn it into an exercise. So instead of just singing the song without any real intention, you're taking the song, you may be just singing the notes, you may be humming it, you may be buzzing it with a certain sort of NG sound or whatever it might be, and you're just trying to feel the resonance, you're trying to feel the muscle balance, you're trying to look out for tension, you're just trying to hit those notes with your voice instead of sing the song. So you remove the words out of the equation to help yourself feel where it's sitting and whether it feels natural and whether it feels balanced and all those kinds of things. So you can use songs in that sort of way for sure, but people who use scales and exercises just tend to get a better job of the warm-up. Why is that? Well, if you use a scale, you kind of sing every note in your range. You go up a semitone, you do a 5-note major scale, you go up a semitone, you will hit every note along the way. You gradually work through the resonant shifts, you gradually work through the muscle balance, you gradually blending, you can go up one, you can take your time, you can realize that top note suddenly feels like it's shifting a little bit and we're in a different register a bit, and then you drop back down. As you go up a semitone to the next scale run, you go up that little bit more each time, and it allows you to gradually feel your way through the bridge and into your top range and work out where any bits are troubling you, so you can either stop and go back or focus on that area, try different sounds, try different vowels, and play around with the area that needs the focus. And trying to do it all in a healthy, sort of pure way as well. You're trying to set your voice up. You're trying to program it for what it's about to do. You're trying to remind it where you want to go. So don't leave it all to chance that in the middle of a really intense song and you go for that note and just hope for the best. You're going, right, when I get to that note, I'm going to be approaching it in this kind of way. I'm going to keep, you're going to keep everything where it should be. and you're going to feel your way into it. And by doing that, you can hopefully do the warm-up, do the exercises, kind of reprogram your muscles, which is the way I've always put it, because it just feels like that to me. And you can throw that all away and hope that you can just do it instinctively and it will come out nicely, and it'll feel right because you've given it a chance. You've reminded it. You've programmed the move into your voice beforehand, and then when it comes to showtime, you can do it. That's the idea. I can't tell you how many times I've done a performance where I wish I'd warmed up more, and back in the day, that would mean that the voice degenerated through the gig. Got worse and worse through the gig. Nowadays, if I don't warm up as much, I can get it going through the set. I can use the songs in the set to get me going, and I can improve as the night goes on, which is great. But you want to hit the ground running, and you want to be able to do everything, as soon as you hit the stage, really. So you're giving your voice a chance. So what kind of exercises can you do? It depends where you're at with your exercises. It depends whether you're used to making these weird noises and doing these sounds and stuff. And every time, for some people, it's just completely alien to them, the idea of doing it. It's like just weird. They're just not used to scales. They're just not used to singing in that kind of way. So it all depends where you're at. But it has to be said that you'll benefit from using exercises. It really has. So what can you do? I run a couple of CDs that I've got. They're not CDs, it's on my phone and it's on my laptop, and I'll just run through a few exercises that I've bought from other coaches online years and years ago, and I still use them now. And there might be something like a hum in the chest voice area, so I might do something like, a bit squeezed in here. Nice and deep in the chest, and just buzzing at the front of your face, trying to get that nice buzz so you can feel the resonance. You're not just humming aimlessly. See, if I gave someone a humming exercise who wasn't used to doing warm-ups, they might just not really engaged with it. They don't know why they're doing it, and you need to be invested in the exercise, otherwise you're not getting much out of it. And I think as a coach, I'm stuck teaching people who need to be convinced for a long time, and that's a part of the benefit of getting onto YouTube and working with people on different levels of experience, because a lot of the students I've had kind of need to be convinced from the beginning of this sort of journey of working on their voice in this way. They need to be convinced to do these things. So I think a lot of my videos at the moment come from an angle of convincing people to do this stuff, but that might change given that there's a whole world of people out there on YouTube, and if I start teaching some of you guys, there'll be all sorts of things we can explore, and I can remind myself of, quite frankly. So I might do a nice hum like that, a nice resonant hum. And I'm doing it with a bit of chord closure. I'm getting it nice and closed, a bit of vocal fry, just that sort of sound. I'm practicing the chord closure. I've got my breath support set. There's a sense of compression. There's a nice vocal fry. It's very relaxed, but I'm open inside. Even though I'm just doing a hum, it's not lazy. I'm feeling it. I'm singing it. I'm feeling the shape. I'm feeling what's happening. And I'm using the exercise properly. Going quite light up there. I'm just feeling my way into that middle part, into that middle area. If it doesn't come out clean, you can hang around on it and play with it. It's the benefit of doing it on an instrument. Obviously, if you're following a scale pattern, you don't get a chance to do that, and it's running at 100 miles an hour perhaps. But you can still try and adjust things for the next scale run and still feel your way through it gradually. I'm just doing a nice slow version. So yeah, a nice sort of warm up, sort of humming sort of sound there, but with purpose, thinking about the resonance, thinking about chord closure, and just creating a shape and feeling your way through the parts of your range there down in the lower part. So there's a range of exercises, some weird and wonderful ones. I'm going to create my own so that I can then use them on here instead of using someone else's. But obviously you want to be working through the bridge. You want to be doing exercises that take you into higher range. Keeping it nice and light. So I sort of stayed in a falsetto there and then reminded myself to come back down. But I'm playing around with it, and I'm just playing around with it in the way that I feel like I want to when I do it, because I'm so used to making these noises. You might find it difficult to stand in a crowded place and do weird vocal exercises and stuff, you know? I've been in a busy bar and just stood there going, we'll do that after that. And I've just carried on talking. You know, I've do my weird exercises, and I'll just be in conversation with people, and they're very used to me doing it. It's just like, just let me do this while we talk. I don't mind people overhearing it. I don't mind people seeing me do it to others who are new to it. It's the most embarrassing thing in the world. But would you rather get on stage and sound good, or worry that you sounded like a bit of an idiot doing your vocal warm-ups and people could hear it? Whatever. Go into the car, go into the back room, go into the green room, whatever. Go and find a space to do it. But you'll thank yourself if you do. I believe that. So lip bubbles, is that something that anyone's ever come across here? A lot of people who've studied the voice will have come across lip bubbles. Again, talking to people as if they haven't necessarily been on this path yet. Lip bubbles. Lip bubbles are a really nice, light way to warm up the voice. It's a semi-occluded vocal tract exercise where you're creating a nice bubble of pressure, you're using a nice bit of pressure above the chords like this. So you get the air coming up beneath the vocal cords, and you get a nice cushion of air that you've created by that bit of resistance from the lips being kind of open and closed sort of thing. That resistance that you get from that bubbly sound, that raspberry sound. It helps create a cushion of air above and below the chords, and it just sorts them out. It just helps them feel like they're sort of moving how they want to. It just puts them in a nice feeling place. You can do things with a straw. Again, this might be alien to some of you. Same sort of thing, just to get your chords feeling really nice. And using them effortlessly as well. So lip bubbles are really good. You can do sirens and stuff. So it was a bit of a clunk in that for me there. The lips aren't continuously working there. That's fine. Still getting the benefit of the exercise. My voice feels different already from just doing a few of those. And I've got a gig later on tonight. I've been talking to classes and stuff while I lecture at a college. You know, I've had a student here today. I've not really done much singing. But, you know, I'll do a few of these things. I'll do lots of other kind of creaky door type stuff, things like that. Just playing around, feeling that top note as it goes through the bridge into your high range. No air, no push, nice and closed. That's why it sounds like a creaky door. And you're tilting it. You're getting that little tilt, and you're adding that pharyngeal resonance to it, and you're getting that nice twangy sort of sound. Going back up to it like that. It helps when you can play an instrument because you can do it a lot more freely than when you follow a scale exercise. But again, scale exercises make you get into a momentum, get into a rhythm with it as well. You do a scale, ba 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 ba, take a breath, ba 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 ba, take a breath, and you get into it that way, and you can practice sort of your breathing. You can get the whole mechanism working a bit in that sort of way. So it's just a quick one today to try and keep up my videos of once a week, which I'm determined I'm going to try and do. I'm doing them very last minute on the fly, but why are you warming up? What are you trying to get from it? My main point is just to put this idea across that don't do warm-ups without any purpose. Do warm-ups with a purpose. Even if you're doing a simple thing like a hum, use it properly and feel what's going on and shape it and get the resonance happening and try and work out where you can feel that buzz happening and all that sort of stuff at the front of your face. What's going on with the muscles? Can you feel some sort of resistance or something tight or something gripping as you go up through the range? It's like, okay, let's take that back down. Let's try and go through that smoothly. Let's make things relax. Let's keep the larynx low. Let's watch out what's happening with the extrinsic muscles and feel your way through things. Give yourself a chance. Don't just think about performing that note and then going into it, and struggling again. Those difficult parts of your songs or sets that you maybe think, if I say, what's the hardest bit of your set? You can think of something. Because if that fear's there and when you're in front of people, even if it's just a tiny little bit of apprehension, it can affect the tension immediately in itself anyway. But if you set your voice up, do a few exercises to play around with that specific area that is going to be difficult, you've programmed them with a bit of muscle memory before the show, before the rehearsal, to give yourself a chance of approaching it in a comfortable, healthy way. So once again, warming up, why? To reprogram the muscles just as much as stretching them out. Reprogram the muscles. There's a lot of things going on down here in our body that around the voice that needs to get out of the way. There are muscles involved in instinctive stuff to do with survival, like swallowing or stopping the food going down the airway, swallowing, the tongue muscles. It's all in use instinctively. And when we go to do something with this part of our body, we just grab, things sneak in. Only takes a bit of tiredness for you to start gripping and tensing up your voice more than you perhaps did last time you sang. So remember that it changes. It's never the same twice, and give it a chance with some exercises that you carefully work through on purpose. If it matters to you to sing well, if you want to get better, if you want to improve those few little moments that are difficult, do some warming up, but do it with purpose and take it nice and steady and reprogram those muscles. Good luck with whatever singing you're doing this week.